Hey guys, it's Ally, and in today's video, I wanted to talk about what are, in my opinion, some of the worst dolls that you could get a first-time American Girl doll owner. So this is more so if you were giving a doll to someone who is absolutely inexperienced with dolls or brand new to collecting or someone really young, because American Girl dolls are quite expensive. So you want to make sure that when you get somebody their first doll, they're not going to ruin it within the first week. I have seen way too many dolls with super ratty hair and sometimes even dolls that are worth quite a lot. So if you are getting an American Girl doll, especially a rare one, you probably want to make sure that you are taking good care of that doll. So I do have a video from a few months back about the best dolls for a new collector, and they were all dolls that, at least at the time of filming that video, were currently in stock. But this video is kind of like, please get any doll but these ones unless you are experienced with dolls or are slightly older. It will make sense as I go along. I swear I have valid reasoning for all of these. But instead of naming specific dolls like I did in the first video, I am more so talking about features of dolls that I wouldn't recommend for a brand new collector, because there's just way too many dolls to name with like these same properties as to like why I would not recommend them for a new collector. So hopefully this will make sense. Anyways, let's get on to the video. The thing that I think is most important when considering what doll to get for somebody's first doll is their hair type. Some doll hair is super easy to take care of, like straight hair, and even some dolls with wavy hair, in my experience, are quite easy to take care of. But there is one hair type that I really strongly would recommend not giving a first-time collector, especially a child who loves to do hairstyles and things like that with their doll, and that is super curly hair. I'm not an expert on the different curl types. I don't know if that would help any of you guys out, but for an example, dolls like Cecile, dolls like 58, they're both retired, I'm pretty sure too. I don't even know what dolls are retired and not retired anymore, if I'm completely honest. But these dolls both have really tight curls. I have Gabriella in my collection, formerly Truly Me number 46, and the only reason her hair is somewhat decent is because I don't touch it. Occasionally I'll clip a piece in the front back, but I don't really brush it out. Do not brush out super curly hair, please. I don't really braid it. I don't even do pigtails and ponytails that often, just because I don't want to mess up the curls and cause flyaways. Now you can definitely restore hair like this if it gets messy, but these dolls have so many curls that restoring every single curl, so brushing it out using like a paintbrush method or something like that to create those curls again, like wrap it around, it's just really tedious. So if you can, I would recommend not getting a doll like that for somebody who is an absolute beginner when it comes to doll hair and that texture and things like that, just because it can be a bit of a hassle. But of course, all of these dolls are really beautiful. 58 was super popular when she was around, but I'm just saying, especially if you have a young kid, please be careful. You do not want to damage your doll's hair and have a frizzy mess. On a similar note, some other dolls that have curly hair, even though it's not as curly, that I've heard and from my own personal experience are quite difficult to take care of include dolls like Sage and Caroline. Now I have Caroline, but I believe from what I've heard, Sage is a similar scenario. Caroline's hair is curly, though it is nowhere near as curly as dolls like 58, Gabriella. Her hair is really long and curly, and I'll insert a photo here from when I was younger and I still played with my dolls. I was way too scared to brush out my Caroline doll's hair because I was worried it was gonna get messy. But it turns out by me not brushing it out, her hair just became a giant poofy mess. And then I suddenly started curling her hair, which I still do every few months just to maintain it. But because Caroline was one of my first dolls, I brushed her hair a little bit incorrectly and she has a bunch of split ends. So her curls are not as clean as I want them to be. So her hair is definitely more difficult to take care of compared to some of my other dolls, and I believe, as I said earlier, Sage is a similar situation. Even Kanani, I do own a Kanani. I ended up boil washing her hair straight, but I would love to put back in her curls eventually. But her hair being so long combined with the curls can be quite hard to take care of for a new collector. I've heard a lot of people say Kanani's hair is like impossible to keep in good condition. That's why a lot of people keep their Kananis in a box. I'm gonna do a smooth transition here from Kanani and talk about that you should probably not, for your first doll, especially if you were were giving this doll to a child, get a doll that is super rare, worth a lot of value. If you are buying Kanani on eBay, she retails for quite a lot, so I would not want to give, no matter how much I love them, a young child who might destroy the doll a very rare, very expensive doll, such as Kanani, plus the fact that her hair can be a bit hard to maintain. So other examples of dolls that I would not really give to a first-time collector besides Kanani include dolls like Mary Grace, because she's quite rare and expensive, possibly just like Euphor, because she is quite rare, but her hair is straight, so it's definitely easier to take care of. Just like keep in mind the value, but for a first doll, it's just much easier to get somebody a currently available doll anyways. Hopefully that makes sense. Another doll I just added to this list recently actually is Yvette. She's from the World by S line, and her hair is very curly. That is another reason I'm like, please be careful if you do not know what you are doing with doll hair. But I went to the American Girl store the other day. They had an Yvette on display, and half of her hair was a frizzy giant mess. I'm gonna assume because this was a display doll, so people were touching and playing with her hair the whole time. One half looked okay, but it's just similar to the other dolls. It's a lot of work to maintain hair like that, and it's a very tedious process to like go through and recurl it. So even though she is a currently available doll, I wouldn't really want to give a young kid that doll just out of fear of the doll getting destroyed. So just to kind of sum up everything that I've talked about, the main dolls I would not give to a beginner are any doll that is super rare and has a lot of value to it. So this can even be dolls like a white-bodied Samantha doll or an original Pleasant Company doll, just because you really don't want those precious collector's items getting destroyed by a young child. And maybe if you're an adult collector and that doll is a bit easier to take care of, you could consider purchasing them. But if you're just starting collecting American Girl dolls, you probably aren't going to be spending like $200 plus on a doll right off the bat. Avoid dolls that have hair that requires a lot of effort to keep in good looking shape if you do care about your doll's appearance and things like that, such as dolls that have really tight curls or even just really long curly hair. Straight and medium are definitely the easiest hair types to maintain from my own experience. And yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. So if you have any questions about getting into American Girl for the first time, anything like that, please leave them in the comments below, and I would love to help you out on your collecting journey. If you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below some dolls that you wouldn't recommend purchasing as a brand new collector, whether it's for a child or even an adult collector. And make sure to subscribe to my channel for more American Girl doll related videos. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys soon.